Hello everyone and welcome to a Deck Tech on the Constructive Criticism YouTube channel. I am Spencer, host of Constructive Criticism and Limited Time Only, two podcasts about getting better at Magic the Gathering. Today we are doing a Deck Tech on my favorite deck going out of Pro Tour testing, Jeskai Control. I love this deck a ton, and this is the deck that I put probably the most work into. I put a lot of work into different Teamer Emerge decks, Green-Red Ramp, things like that, but this is the deck that I truly loved going out of Pro Tour testing. This is not the deck that the team ended up playing at the Pro Tour, but it is the deck that I would play tomorrow, given the chance. So let's start with the main deck. We have a total of 4 creatures in this deck in the form of 4 Torrential Gearhulks. We have 1 Dynavolt Tower, 2 Quarantine Field, 2 Stasis Snare, 3 Anticipate, 2 Blessed Alliance, 4 Disallow, 4 Glimmer of Genius, 4 Harness Lightning, 2 Negate, and 2 Nahiri. We have 2 Fumigate and 2 Radiant Flames for the sweepers in the deck, and 26 lands in the form of 4 Aether Hub, 3 Inspiring Village, 4 Island, 5 Plains, 4 Port Town, 2 Spirebluff Canal, and 4 Wandering Fumarole. The main key cards in the deck are easily Torrential Gearhulk, being able to flash back some of our key spells like Glimmer of Genius, and Anticipate, and Disallow. Disallow is a huge part of this deck. I don't think people realize how good this is as a cancel. This card stops Planeswalker Ultimates, it counters Evolving Wilds, and just counters spells overall. This card is probably the best cancel we've ever seen in Standard. Basically, since the one that had buyback for like discarding 2 cards, this is the cancel in every way that we've always wanted. Really, it does a lot of things, and it is a huge part of this metagame. Well, the other key cards that we have here are Nahiri. This card does something very specific. So Jeskai Control is interesting in the control deck realm in the fact that once you get to a certain land point, you want 0 more lands. Whereas in many control decks, you really want to get to like 10, 12, 15 lands. And this deck is really okay just stopping at 10, stopping at 9. And because of that, Nahiri lets you filter cards while all being able to give you a different game plan in the form of like getting that Gearhulk in play, flashing something back, attacking with Gearhulk, and bringing it back with her ultimate. It also lets you kill meaningful cards by exiling target enchantment or a tapped artifact or tapped creature. It plays an important pivotal role in the deck that I never got the experience playing with Nahiri before playing with this deck. Dynavolt Tower is a new addition to the deck. It's not something that I've tried a ton before, but one of the things that people were complaining about with the deck is its Harness Lightnings and how they weren't killing enough stuff. And with Dynavolt Tower in play, Harness Lightning is basically Doomblade, and it was really Doomblade already. I never understood the problem with Harness Lightning, as for me, I gotta kill their 2 best creatures every game with my first 2 Harness Lightnings, and I never really expected to need more than that. Because we have cards like Nahiri and Fumigate to take care of the rest of the stuff in case we need it. We have 2 Stasis Snare and 2 Quarantine Field to get bit stuff in case we need it. But Dynavolt Tower also gives you an alternative win condition. This is replacing a Jace in the deck, and that could be incorrect. I'm not sure right now, but this is currently the list that I am playing, and it's been really good for me. I'm quite happy with it. You'll notice that we're only playing 26 lands in the deck. Some of the key lands are Wandering Fumarole and Aether Hub. Because of the energy sub-theme in this deck, between Glimmer of Genius, Harness Lightning, and Dynavolt Tower, I've typically found Aether Hub to just be an untapped tri-land. And that's really good. It's a really powerful effect, and something that the deck really wants, and something that I think that Grixis Control didn't love as much, because it wasn't as intensive on the mana. You have double white spells, you have red-white spells, you have double blue spells, and Aether Hub is just a huge part of that game. The other thing that you'll notice in this deck is that we're playing mostly untapped lands. We're choosing to play Inspiring Village and Spirebluff Canal and Port Town. One of the reasons for that is we don't want our lands coming to play tapped, and this gives us the most opportunities to not have tap lands. Key cards in the deck that I haven't mentioned yet are Fumigate. Fumigate is a huge part of the deck and a huge part of this metagame. If you think about the way that the metagame shapes up right now, Fumigate is huge. Green-black almost can't beat the card, and different decks that you want to get ahead in, that life gain is going to be really important. Overall, Fumigate has been an A+ for me. I've also considered just not playing Radiant Flames, playing or cutting down to Radiant Flames, playing that third Fumigate. Let's move on to the sideboard. We have 1 Linvala, 4 Spell Queller, 2 Dispel, 3 Shock, 1 Summary Dismissal, 2 Tears of Valakut, and 2 Gideon Ally of Zendikar. This sideboard is very diverse. It's trying to do many different things, and Spell Queller is a huge part of that. Post-boarding in certain decks, I want to be the Spell Queller, Gideon, Torrential Gearhulk, Nahiri deck. That's important to me. The other thing that we see here is we want to be able to win counter spell wars. We already have Maindeck Negate, so we've gone to Dispel in the post board, and Summary Dismissal as a catch-all. We also have Shock to interrupt the Saheeli combo, as well as things to do, like Spell Queller, to interact with them while putting pressure on the board. This is a huge part of the game plan, and one of the reasons that I think that Jeskai Control is just favored in the Saheeli matchup. I love this deck against Saheeli combo, and it's one of the reasons that I've really moved towards the deck, is its matchup against Green, Black, and Saheeli. And I think that Spell Queller is a huge part of that. The other thing you'll see here is the diversification of different things. We have Linvala and Gideon as these huge big threats that you can bring in. We have Spell Queller to win counterspell wars while putting pressure on opponents. And then we have different things to do different things. We have Dispel, Shock, Summary Dismissal, and Tears of Valakut. Overall, I'm a huge fan of this deck. I'd recommend it to anyone who is willing to try it. One of the huge things that I like about the deck is its diversification of its removal spells and its threats and different things like that. And let's be honest, everybody wants to play a Torrential Gearhulk deck. Who doesn't want to be flashing back Glimmer of Genius? It just feels like Sphinx's Revelation. So that's this deck in a nutshell. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. This is my favorite deck, so I would be happy to talk about it. And we'll see you guys all next time. Don't forget to subscribe and check out patreon.com/ccmtg. If every viewer and listener of Constructive Criticism donated $1 per month, I could quit my job and make Magic content full time. That would be the dream. So thank you everybody for listening and watching, and we'll see you guys all next time.